So it's Saturday, like 11:30-ish. I didn't end up showing you the little fort Xander made us last night, so I thought I'd show you that real quick. But yeah, we watched Set It Up, which was really cute. I enjoyed that a lot. So the Dewey's Readathon, or 24-hour readathon, was supposed to start, or it did start, at 8 a.m. this morning. And we didn't go to sleep until like 2:30 last night, so I'm just getting up and starting my day. So I'm thinking I'm going to actually start the readathon at 12 o'clock and maybe make this a 36-hour readathon, because I'm probably also going to sleep throughout it. So I'll go 12 p.m. today until, and then also read all day Sunday. Yeah, that's what I'll do. First though, before I get started with reading, I need to get my workout in. So since it's 11:30, I may have time to do that before starting my official readathon. So I will talk to you later. So as the Servants of Twilight and Crown of Midnight didn't complete any of my owls, I wanted to focus on completing owls, or at least completing one owl during this little 24-hour or 36-hour readathon. So I am tackling Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Last Hour series and her most recent book, and I'm so excited to read this. This follows all of the children of the characters from the Infernal Devices, and I'm so here for it. But there's so many freaking characters. I've already started. I'm a little over an hour into the readathon, and I'm on page 86. And this completes the owls for divination, third eye. Assign numbers to your TBR and use a random number generator to pick, and it picked Chain of Gold. So yeah, I think I can get this completed by the end of this readathon. I hope. This may be the only thing I read, but well, during this little 36-hour readathon, but I'm gonna try. So it's 3:52, and that means I'm 4 hours into my little readathon here, and I'm plowing through Chain of Gold. Right now I'm on page 231, so not quite halfway, but I think more than a third, and I'm really enjoying it. It kind of took a little while to wrap my brain around all the different characters, because there's so many of these children from the other books that I'm just like, it took a little while to sort out. But I do have this one thing, hold on. So I haven't put this video up yet, but I did do a video where I vlogged going to the signing for this, which is where I picked this up. And while there, we got these little packs, Meet the Characters of Cassandra Clare's Chain of Gold. And this has been very helpful in the beginning part of reading this to kind of go, okay, who's who? So here's Cordelia Carstairs, and we have information about each of them on the back. Then we have James Herondale, who I absolutely adore right now. And this is Lucy Herondale, Will's sister, and I also really like Lucy. She's a writer, and she writes these cute little stories called The Beautiful Cordelia that she started when she was like 13 years old, and every month has sent like a chapter or a story or whatever to Cordelia as sort of a way to cheer her up, and just kind of continued through the years. It is very cute. And then we have Matthew Fairchild, who is James's peripaty. Then we have Anna Lightwood. She's very cool. And Thomas Lightwood. And this has been very helpful. Granted, I don't have all the characters, but having those has been a help. Wow, how many times did I say help there? So ever since the Infernal Devices, the Clockwork War, London hasn't had a whole lot of demon activity. And now all of a sudden, the demons are coming from everywhere, and it's a special kind of demon that can come out in the daylight where they normally can't. And their ichor or whatever is has a poison in it that the shadow hunters have never seen before and can't find a cure for, or maybe it's not their ichor, it's something, there's some kind of poison that these demons have. They can't seem to cure it. And this group of shadow hunters, they have been training. However, they haven't had to face all the demons on a regular basis like their parents did. So they're kind of at a disadvantage just because they haven't grown up with all of this fighting demons on a regular basis. So this is a very new thing for them as well. It's really good. I'm like loving being back in this world. I love getting to see Will and Jim and Tessa and all of them, and it's a lot of fun. I also really like Cordelia. I'm not sure who my favorite character is at this point. There's so many of them that I like. Anna Lightwood is like the female shadow hunter Magnus Bane, in my opinion. Okay, I'm gonna go, and actually I'm gonna take a little break from reading because, like I said, I've read a lot in a short amount of time. And there was a video that I was working on editing yesterday that I didn't finish, so I'm gonna take a little break, edit for just a little while. Marty's gonna be getting up in about half an hour or so, and I need a shower, and I didn't want to go in there while he was sleeping. So I may take an hour off just to get a little bit of other stuff done, and then I'm gonna get back to reading. So I will talk to you later.
Woohoo! Party time! Welcome everyone, as I already am losing my computer, to Truth Talking in Tough Times. These are my fellow amazing, incredible, awesome panelist days. And we're going to have a really good time chatting today about life, hardship, tough times, historical, tough times present. Interestingly enough, we will not be talking about quarantine, though that is probably the deepest time we're all feeling right now. Welcome, loves. So I'm Nick Stone. I am your head wrapped, chilling in a tent, literally in my backyard moderator. And I am really excited to be here with the five of you today. If you will, I will call a name, and I want you to say who you are and what book you are here to talk about. Tracy.
Hi, I'm Tracy G. I'm the author of We Are Not Free, a young adult in the struggle novel and stories about the Japanese American incarceration camps in World War II.
Love it. Romina?
Hi, I'm the author of Dewey, which is about a girl, Manu, who is undocumented from Argentina, living in Miami and hiding with her mom, who discovers she's not exactly human, and it's not just her U.S. residency that's illegal, but her entire existence.
Ooh. Sarah?
Hi, I'm Sarah Watson. I'm the author of this book, Most Likely, which is about four best girlfriends their senior year of high school, and we know a secret they don't, which is that one of them will grow up to be the President of the United States.
Wild. Becky?
Hi, I'm Becky Albertalli. I am one of the authors of Yes, No, Maybe So. So this is a collaboration with my friend Aisha Saeed. And this is about a Jewish boy and a Muslim girl who team up to knock on doors and canvass for a local candidate running for office in their district in Georgia.
Love it. And Cecil?
Hi, I'm Cecil Castellucci. I'm co-creator of The Plain Janes with artist Jim Rugg. The Plain Janes is a graphic novel, and it's all about a girl who, after surviving a terrorist bombing in a fictional American city, her parents move her to the suburbs, and she decides to sort of deal with her trauma by forming an all-girl guerrilla art group that starts to do art attacks to make something surprising be something beautiful rather than something horrific. So that's The Plain Janes.
I love it. So a couple of you, actually most of you have these really powerful themes of empowerment, which I think is something we could all use a bit more of right now while we are trapped inside of our houses. Sarah, I want to actually start with you. In your book, now first of all, you are also a television writer, a television creator, which is really awesome. And what I love about your work, both the bad type, which is a TV show, I mean the bold type.
Bold type. I like the bad type.
Bad type, the BA bold type. And your book, Most Likely, they both center on this like empowerment of girls through friendship.
Yes.
How do you think friendship has the power to kind of save us in times like the ones we're living in now?
Well, I think, first of all, I think it was because of my TV experience and it's such a male-dominated field, and because we are always so encouraged to write these catty women who stab each other in the back, and I never saw that as realistic. Those aren't the kind of friendships I have. I feel like we're so informed by our friendships. And what really inspired this book is I was reading Hillary Clinton's book, What Happened, and she has a chapter about going away to college. And she was a Republican when she went to college and had very different political beliefs. And they got to know this group of really feminist women who became her really strong, solid girlfriends. And it really informed who she was. And so it made me start thinking about my own female friendships and how not only do we lift each other up, but we are the women we are because of the friends we had as girls. Mm-hmm. I just started really thinking about whoever does become our first female president is really going to owe a huge set of gratitude to our high school girlfriends because they're the ones who got her there.
I'm excited about Lobizona because of the experiences we're going to get to have with Argentinian culture and folklore. And I want to know from you, so it deals with the experience of being undocumented, but you have like magic and she's a bruja and her brother is a werewolf, right? Like and it has to do with folklore. And I want to know why I guess you decided to take this contemporary issue and put it within a supernatural story.
Good and awesome question. So what's funny is I can't wait for you to read it in particular because there are like Harry Potter references all over, and your Hope Nation essay was like one of my favorites, and I was like, okay, we would totally get along so great because we geek out on the same stuff. And so yeah, I'm curious what you'll think of some of the stuff, but there is a conversation in there that kind of gets to the heart of this where, you know, my protagonist Manu is obsessed with Harry Potter and Hogwarts because she's stuck growing up undocumented alone, and you know, so what could be more magical than finding out this is the reason you're a wizard, Harry? And so she really struggles with that. And at one point, you know, her mom kind of doesn't understand why she loves Harry Potter books and isn't reading more from her own culture. And you know, and she says to her when she's like, "Why don't you try Harry?" She's like, "Name a Latinx character in it, and maybe I'll try it." And like Manu's like, you know, you missed the whole point, you know. And the whole thing that she's saying is, you know, she loves the Weasleys and she wants to live in the borough. And she's like, it's not about their language they speak or what they look like or any of that. And that's what her mom doesn't understand. She wants a sense of belonging, and like they have that. So I mean, they know who they are what family belongs to, everything. And that was a big thing that I longed for always. So when I immigrated here at the same age as Manu, and I felt like, you know, it feels like you come from two worlds but belong to neither, you know, and you speak two languages, but you still lack the words to define yourself and understand, like, what label am I? Who am I? Like, how I can't reduce to one word, and therefore, you know, you just wonder where you fit. And so it made me think a lot about the topic and the subject of being an immigrant and what that means. And is it a label or is it a state of being? Is it a state of existence where we don't quite exist in an area, we walk in the lines between borders, you know, and that kind of gives us a different perspective. And it's sad because you lose that permanence of home and belonging, but you gain such a different view of life, as we know, because I think a lot of us writers, we feel like outsiders in some way, you know, and that gives us a cool viewpoint. But funny enough, I did want to mention that, you know, what got me to write about this, you know, when the magic and mixing it with this message is I originally wrote a version of this in 2008. And when I tried to go out with it, agents told me that U.S. readers, teens, would not care about Argentine immigrants. And the whole basis of this was what you said. It was Argentine folklore. There is a superstition that says 7 sons will be born werewolves and 7 daughters will be born witches, brujas. And I thought that was so cool because there is an actual law, you can look this up, La Ley de Padrinato Presidencial in Argentina, that says the president of Argentina becomes godparent to the 7th consecutive son or daughter born in a family and covers all their educational expenses. And so there's so much debate over how did this law get started. Was it the superstition or is it something else? I feel like it's got to be the superstition. Why else would you offer this if not that people really believed it? So I wrote a whole story called Yellow Eye about this whole thing, you know. And when I was told that, you know, I walked away from those characters. I started writing, like, what's socially acceptable, you know. I mean, the series that I got published on is Zodiac, and it's not even in this world because I didn't want to deal with rejection of my real identity anymore. I could take rejection of my Zodiac sign. And it was a friend of mine, Tony Adeyemi, who actually brought me back to sitting down and fighting, you know, because we were talking about all this, and before she got published, we went to the same college, and so we kind of developed this relationship where we were talking about she was going out to agents, I had Zodiac out, and it's so funny how I thought at the start maybe I was like having this mentor role, and in the end she was the one who gave me my power back, you know, by like being like, I believe in you in this story, go back to it, because I was like, I don't know what to do, all this stuff is happening at the border, I feel like I have this platform, I don't know if, you know, and she was like, this is how you fight. So yeah.
So it's been a few hours since I last checked in. It's now about 8:45, and I haven't got a huge amount of reading done. I'm currently on page 299. Actually, I'm close to the end. There's like a gap between words. We changed scenes, so I stopped there. So I'm getting really close to the halfway point, but since my last check-in, I've taken my shower, I've cooked dinner, I've did one of the Yallwest webinars, which I showed y'all part of that, and I'm actually getting ready to do another one that I signed up for. I had completely forgotten about these, but there's another one that starts here at 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna just continue reading for a few more minutes until that gets started. So yeah, it'll probably be a couple more hours before I check in again, and but I'm making really good progress, like to be halfway through already, and I've only been going at this for almost 9 hours, minus all the other stuff I've had to stop for. But I definitely think I'll be finishing this. I think there's a possibility I could even finish it by midnight. I don't know. We'll see. If I do, gosh, if I finish this by midnight, I will probably try to also read Dance of Thieves, which is not one of my owls, but it is one of my books that I needed to get read this month. Actually, it's from my Wheel of the month before, and I didn't finish it, so I need to get it read. So I need to get it read by the end of this month. That was actually my notification that the Yallwest webinar starts in 10 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna go for now, and I'll probably show you a little clip of that as well.
So I'm just here. This Smackdown is once again brought to you by Disney Publishing. So thank you so much, Disney Hyperion, for once again sponsoring us. And we would like to thank our two hosts, Angie Thomas and Nick Stone, otherwise known as Dumbledore, and Snape Dog with 2 G's. As we all know, Angie and Nick are the authors of some of the biggest books that the kids just love, and we had the honor of having them last year in a live Yallwest keynote, which was really wonderful. And now they are bringing their amazing Smackdown show to us, to Y'all Stay Home. So we could not be more thrilled to have these two wonderful and hilarious authors kick this off. So thank you so much. Have so much fun. Goodbye.
Oh, shizzle.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Children, what is up? Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to Virtual Hogwarts. We hope that you have been staying inside and staying safe, because I do not want to have to send a howler to your house. I am Albling Dumbledore, cousin Dumbledore. Dumbledore. Because I'm dope. I'm the cousin Dumbledore don't want to talk about. And that's okay. We all got that cousin, but I'm here. And I'm here tonight with my homie, Snake Dog. Snake, slippery Snake Dog. How you doing, Snake?
Shizzle.
You know, Snake, I got a joke for you, Snake.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
I do for you. You gotta give me a chance. I got a joke for you, okay? Why does Snoop Dogg carry an umbrella?
I don't know, Double Dope. Why? Why would I carry an umbrella?
For drizzle.
All right, that was a good one.
You ain't gonna hit that, did you?
That was
You
a
ain't
good
know. You
That's
ain't
better
gonna
than
have
that Potter kid, that Potter child that we're always dealing with.
You been good, Snake?
I'm good. Are you good?
I'm good. I know you good because you've been quarantined and you don't like being around nobody nowhere.
I hate everyone.
I know. I just got in this castle. You know, some of the kids got stuck here, so I'm dealing with Harry and them, and Harry always into something.
I don't like that kid.
I know. That's why you stay in the dungeon. I don't ever see you.
Everybody thinks the dungeon's this horrible place, but look at it.
You gotta get rid of that. That's nice.
Did you see that magic? I just vanished.
You got magic. I see my hat keeps disappearing because that's magic. You know,
Where is my wand?
But you know, we got these authors here tonight, and we got to do these games. So we're about to get into our first game, children. The first game of the night is called Quick Flash. Now,
Here we are.
We're going.
we're going. Let's go. Oh, look at the little intro.
Whiplash.
Look at this stuff Muggles done did tonight. They're just smarter than we give them credit for.
No, they're not.
Okay. Well, look at that. Let's get this thing going.
It's
This is a
telling me
pretty good crew.
sit back and relax.
Round one. Ding, 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 ding.
This is a. I don't know about this question, friends.
I know there's some inappropriate stuff in here.
Oh, Lord, no. See? Hagrid done got hold of the game. We put them questions in. Ah, look at Margie Miney. Ah, you Hermione's cousin, girl. I know you and Hermione look familiar. That's Hermione's cousin. I knew that.
We're like this.
I like that, yeah.
I think we may not have checked the family safe option.
We'll have to go for it.
Oh, no.
There's
Oh,
a thing you can check that makes sure all the question are children appropriate, and that may not have been checked.
no. Oh, no.
Cool. That's something that I didn't know about. Well, all our answers will be family appropriate.
Welcome to the Smackdown, friends.
Hey, it's after
I think there's a boggart. There's a boggart in this game.
Everybody get your answers in.
We got a troll in the dungeon.
Yes.
Oh, Lord, how we gonna do this? Little known fact, the human body is approximately 80%. Oh, who in the world put them answers? I think, I hope it's brains, but the way some of y'all act is trash.
We have over 500 people playing this. This is incredible.
Margie said brains, but Sam went with trash.
Oh, Sam.
I was speaking about myself personally. That's not like a value judgment on anyone else, just so you know.
It's okay.
Oh,
And you were
like
dumb luck.
trash.
Oh!
Oh, boy.
Hey.
Yeah. Person act like that one didn't happen. New questions, hey, all right.
We know who put that answer.
Yeah. got a troll in the dungeon. New potions.
The boggart.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
That's a good one. That's a good answer. Yay.
I can't believe how many audience members we have. This is so fun.
Wasn't it fun to throw off the Eiffel Tower? Huh. Glitter.
Ooh, I like this glitter answer.
Glitter is a good one. I wanted to throw Voldemort off, but they told me that wasn't going to happen. That's why I didn't make it in the book.
Can't he fly? Something I've heard.
You should never stop to
Don't
throw it.
know it personally.
Okay, Brendan. Bad intentions. I mean, yeah.
George, you and I are in the same boat. Literally.
Well, another name for a rectal power. Why, God? Yes,
Angela.
Why?
Fabulous.
It really threw me off.
George, I think you can probably rejoin.
The worst
Yeah.
impression of sense.
if you relog in, it'll put you in the game again.
Okay.
Yeah, Rachel just said, I like that one. Slime. I got a
Slime
slime.
have a cinch? I don't know that it does.
The worst thing you can describe on your burrito,
A roach.
snake dog's bangs. I got
Big
that.
dog doesn't have bangs. He's vain.
I did find one of your bangs in my burrito.
That's where the bangs went.
Not beard hair.
I was not happy at all. Let's see. All right.
Nice.
Oh, a shutout.
Brendan.
Total shutout.
Brendan. They voted for you like a wow. There you go.
I'm an early round performer. I fade. I'm a fade. I never stick around.
I don't know
It's
that
not for hemorrhoids. Ain't nothing shit about hemorrhoids. But blonde couples. You know, Snake, that's a good one though.
No, I just don't know whether he's a boggart. The boggart's coming up with the questions. Has to be.
Not getting
I
any
haven't got any more questions.
Yeah, me either.
No, those were like,
I
you
do
don't all
believe
get the
each
same
person
ones.
gets 2 questions.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like 10:30 and I haven't read anything. Well, actually I read just a tiny bit in those maybe 5 minutes before the Yallwest Smackdown webinar was to start. I have a question for y'all. So I can only include just a little bit in the clips for this video because I have like over an hour of footage and I've got another webinar thing to go to tomorrow. So I'm wondering, do you just want the couple of clips that I include with this video, or would you like me to do a separate video with the full everything that I get from all of this Yallwest stuff that I go to? Okay, so I'm going to continue reading. I have only one comment at this point in that little tiny bit that I read between when I checked in and when the webinar started. There's a character in here called Grace Blackthorn, and I am not a fan of hers. I do not like her. James apparently is in love with her, and I think there's something fishy and bad about her. She is a ward of Tatiana Lightwood, who is Gideon and Gabriel's sister from the Infernal Devices. And Tatiana is also awful. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go read and I'll talk to you later. So it's 12:15, which means it's Sunday, whatever the date is. April 26th. I'm currently on page 406, so right here, there's still a lot left. I thought earlier I was going to be done by midnight, but that was before, I think before I remembered about all the Yallwest stuff. Okay, so it looks like there's 582 pages, so 176 pages left, plus there is this bonus story at the end featuring Will and Tessa, Fairy Tale of London, and it's all those pages. Yeah, I don't know how long that is exactly, but I got a while still. But I'm really absolutely loving this a lot. I like this actually better than the Dark Artifices. I'm looking forward to having more in this series. Okay, I'm going to continue reading and I'll talk to you later. Okay, it's like a quarter after, actually 20 after 4 a.m. I'm tired. But I finished Chain of Gold. I give it 5 stars. It was so good. And I cannot wait for the next one. And yeah. And that Grace character, not a fan. But I do love James a lot. Okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. I don't know what I'll read tomorrow. I may try Dance of Thieves. I may just read graphic novels. I don't know. Okay, time for sleep. So it's a little after, actually it's about 12:30, and I'm ready to go out and do my workout for the day. Today's cardio day, and it's like in the 50s, so I'm having to wear a hoodie. Anyway, I took a little time to figure out what I wanted to read next, or what I wanted to listen to, because, well, I want to listen to something while I go on my walk. And then I don't know if I'm going to start Dance of Thieves today. I may just work on some of the graphic novels, because I really would like to get some stuff done around the house. And Dance of Thieves, I believe, is going to be one of those books that I can't just listen to. Either I have to physically read, or if I listen to it, I have to like follow along in the book. Because books like that, they tend to just go in one ear out the other if I'm just listening to it. And so I spent a little time going through Hoopla and Scribd and thinking about the books that I have, because I like to try to listen to audiobooks of books that I already have, so that I'm still knocking out books that I own. And I decided to go with The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. So that is what I'm going to be listening to today. And I should be able to get that finished before midnight, hopefully. I'm not going to stay up past midnight. I don't plan to anyway. So I will get back with you a little bit later after I've read some and after I've done my walk. Okay, so it's like 5:25 now, and I have completed The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I listened to it on my walk. I was listening to it at like 2.2 or 2.2 speed. So it really didn't take long at all. I listened to it when I went on my walk. I listened to it while I was in my car going over to the other house, because we have a couple more showings today. And I've continued listening to it while cleaning and organizing and unpacking a little of my kitchen. And yeah, this is only like 193 pages. However, the text is very, very tiny. This is about, it mostly follows a man named Dorian Gray. It starts out with the artist. He is sort of infatuated with this young boy named Dorian Gray, who is beautiful and innocent and just full of life. And the artist captures him and his essence and everything in this portrait. And while the artist is painting this portrait, a friend is talking to Dorian about youth and beauty and a bunch of different stuff. And made Dorian realize that he's as beautiful as he's ever going to be, and as he gets older, he's going to lose his beauty and his charm and all of that stuff, and everybody grows up and becomes old and disgusting, pretty much is what this friend was telling him. And when the painting's done, Dorian gets so upset because he's jealous of this image that's on this painting, and he makes this wish out of fear or desperation or whatever, that he would even sell his soul so that the painting showed the aging and not him, and all of his sins and all of that would show up on the painting instead of his own face. And for like 18 years, that's exactly what happens. And this the image gets more and more distorted and gruesome, yet Dorian remains young, and at times he appreciates that, and he is very happy for that, but he's ashamed of anybody. He doesn't want anybody seeing this picture because he doesn't want anybody to see the things that he's done and see his soul reflected in this picture. And other times he very, very much regrets and wants to do better. It was pretty good. I think I would give it a 3.5. And now I think I'm going to take a break from cleaning and stuff like that and read one of my graphic novels so I can complete another Owls before the end of this day. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Okay, it's 6:30 and I just finished Wonderland Volume 2. This is a manga, and this completes my Owls for Care of Magical Creatures, Hippogriffs, creature with a beak on the cover, because if you look in the mirror here, there's a crow. 3.5. Yeah. Yeah, 3.5. This was, okay. So, the gist of this story is Yoko, living her normal life with her mom and dad and cat and dog, wakes up one morning and her parents have been shrunk, and then her parents are accidentally massacred by their pet cat, and Yoko and her dog Paco go out into the world and try to see what's going on, and she finds that a huge area of Japan has been shrunk. All of the people are shrunk, and they're being attacked by cats and crows and things like that. And she meets a mysterious character named Alice who doesn't speak Japanese and is trying to help protect Yoko from a lot of different things. It was okay. I don't know if I'll continue reading because I'm not that invested. I'm not that hooked. I'm not that interested. So yeah, 3.5 for that. And I have another Yallwest event in like about half an hour. So I think I'm going to take a little break from reading. Maybe get dinner started, and then I'll do the Yallwest thing. And then we'll go back to reading. So I'll talk to you later.
Alright everyone, welcome to Yallwest Afternoon Panel. This is Writing Empathy. I'm Tata Matthew. I will be moderating this event today. We're here today to discuss the process of writing inclusively, empathetically, and generally creating a character who is also a person. I'm super excited to talk with these amazing authors today and to get a really awesome discussion going.
I'd like to ask the authors to please hold up your books, the book that you're going to be talking about and promoting today, and continue holding up those books when you introduce yourselves. I'm going to go around and ask you guys to talk a bit about yourselves, your books, and that's basically it. Danielle, do you want to start?
Sure. I mean, I'm holding up the bells because it's the only one I have in my house. But my name is Danielle Clayton, and I'm the author of the Tiny Pretty Things series and the Belle series. And I live in New York City, and I'm really excited to be here talking about writing empathetic characters with all of these awesome books.
Great. Charlotte, do you want to go next?
Sure. So I am Charlotte Nicole Davis, author of The Good Luck Girls, which is a young adult fantasy inspired by the Old West about a group of girls who have to go on the run after one of them accidentally kills a man who hasn't it coming. So there's some fantasy, some horror, found family tropes, all my favorite things.
Taylor, do you want to go next?
Yeah, so I'm here talking about We Unleash the Merciless Storm, which is the sequel to Wait, I haven't both. We Set the Dark on Fire. It's a Latinx queer fantasy about two girls who sort of realize what they mean to each other during a class revolution that they're coming at from both sides.
Awesome. Adam?
Hey, I'm Silvera, the author of Big Book Guardian and some other books, and my new book, Infinity Sun, which is my first fantasy novel, my first ever series, which I'm really excited about. It has Latinx characters, queer characters, of course, like all my other books, and yeah, super excited for the conversation.
Awesome. Kaysen?
Yeah, so This Ever After is coming out, I guess, about a week and a half, and it's a YA contemporary romance about Felix, who is a trans guy and starts to question his identity again, and eventually realizes that he is a demi boy. I don't want to give any spoilers, but basically, a kind of like quasi love triangle ends up happening when he is unfortunately goes through a transphobic attack at the beginning of the book. So it's about identity, it's about romance, it's about him falling in love and kind of discovering his own self-worth.
Thank you. Dan?
Yeah, so Look is my third YA novel, and it is about a girl named Lulu, who is sort of low-key famous on a social media app called Flash. Not like a paid influencer or anything, but, more followers than your average teen. And she accidentally posts a video of herself cheating on her boyfriend with a girl, so both destroying this relationship that she's been really publicizing, but also accidentally outing herself as being bisexual. And so the book is about her kind of trying to figure out, like, what parts of that life that she had were things that were really good for her and that she loved and she wants to keep, and what parts of that life maybe actually, like, weren't so good for her and she wants to leave behind and figure out a new way to be.
Excellent. I love all of these books. Thank you all so much. Okay, we're just gonna dive right in. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm reading from my printed sheet here with questions and things on it. And I might read directly just because I want to make sure I'm clear and I don't get my words all twisted up. So, first question, with a little bit of background. I spent most of my life feeling like I didn't really exist. I moved around a lot as a child, and I was never really rooted in a community, so I grew up without many mirrors at all. I never even met another girl who looked like me, an Iranian-American girl who wore hijab until I was 14 years old. So as a result, I never really saw a place for myself in society, and I never really saw that I had a right to tell a story that featured somebody who looked like me, or that I never even thought that my story mattered. I never saw myself in the world, and it certainly didn't help that whatever representation I did see, whatever reflections I did see were some kind of caricature, some kind of stereotype, something that was super unproductive and just made me want to hide and disappear. So it took me a really long time to excavate my identity. What I would like to know is, when did you realize you had a right to be unapologetically yourself and to tell your story? There's a second part to that question, but I feel like it would be interesting to maybe first establish this baseline, especially as we are writing inclusive, empathetic characters who are really just characters, right? So I'm just going to go from the top like we did with our intros. Danielle, do you want to answer that first?
Sure. I think it took me a long time to be unapologetically myself. I grew up in the suburbs of Washington, D.C., in a very, very white upper middle class area, and I was the fly in the milk. And so I spent a lot of time trying to blend in, trying to sort of fly under the radar so that I didn't get the microaggressions and I didn't get labeled the angry black girl, all of the different stereotypes. And it didn't really matter because I was going to be labeled those things anyway, what I figured out. And I think once I got to high school and I figured out that it really, my best self was where I came from, and all the things that made me were super important. And because I come from a tradition where there are a lot of Black writers writing, my parents were able to fill me up with lots of great stories. However, those stories were really rooted in sort of the struggle. So I was looking for stuff beyond that. And I think once I read a book called Coffee Will Make You Black, that's when I figured out, it's a great book by April Sinclair, that I could write and be apologetically me. Just about a Black girl in Chicago who is figuring out what she likes and who she likes, and she has a crush on a girl, and she's like, what is this? And that's when I was like, oh, there's so many different versions of Blackness, and it's okay. But it took me a long time to get there.
I mean, part of what we're talking about here is also writing our truth, right? Writing a true character, a real character, an empathetic character, a fully rounded character. And that includes all kinds of characters. And this actually leads me into the second part of my question, the first of which you all just answered, which is, what was it like for you to tell a story that you felt in some way reflected or represented your truth? Because I found that it was, well, forget, it's not about me, but I just mean personally, I have so many thoughts and feelings about this, but what I want to know is, did you find this process liberating or terrifying, or both?
Yeah, Felix Ever After was super liberating to write because it was an opportunity I felt to kind of take on a lot of the issues I feel like we don't really talk about within the queer community, which is racism, which is transphobia, and the different levels of privilege. You could be a white queer person and be racist and transphobic, and so throughout the book, Felix deals with a transphobic anonymous troll who's bullying him, and he has to kind of find his way to fight back against the troll, and that was very healing for me also, because basically Felix always got the last word against anyone who ever hurt him. That was my way of being able to get my last word against any transphobia I see in this world too. I basically wanted it to be a super validating and affirming book for anyone who has intersectional identities, and especially anyone who is trans and person of color, like Felix.
Okay, so it's now like 10 o'clock. Had dinner, did the Yallwest webinar, and I read Buffy the Vampire Slayer Volume 1, High School is Hell. This is like a reboot, retelling kind of thing of the original series, but it's not set in the 90s. It's set current day, but there's a lot of stuff that's different. I actually have read this before, and I couldn't remember if I read it or not when I selected this, but once I got into it, I was like, oh yeah, I did read this one before, and there's so many changes that I'm not really sure how I feel about it. Because, like, for example, Willow is not the shy, smart, well, I mean, she's still smart, but she's not the shy, mousy character that she is in the beginning of Buffy, where this is supposed to be that same beginning. Instead, she's already her fierce, lesbian, witchy self. So it was kind of weird to, like, have her at the beginning of all of this like that, and wearing fishnets and crop tops and things like that. Xander's pretty much like Xander in here. He's fine. Cordelia is nice to everybody, and that's weird. Anya already owns the magic shop, but she's a demon still. I don't know. Oh, and Robin is a high school student on the track team, interested in Buffy. So that's a big difference as well. I don't know how I feel about this, because it changes so much. But I did enjoy it. So I think I would give this 3.75. Yeah. And this does complete one of my owls. It completes Transfiguration, Animagus Lecture, book/series that includes shape-shifting. And, I mean, vampires. So, there's that. vampires, werewolves, there's all kinds of stuff in Buffy. So let's see. I think I'm going to end my little 36-hour readathon at 34 hours just because I could maybe read one more graphic novel, but I think I'd rather just hold off on that. And I've read quite a bit for just that part of the readathon. I read all of this in that 36 hours or 34 hours. And this week total, I've read all of this. And 1, 2, 3 of the 6 were from my owls. So awesome. And I've got a 5-star read. I think the rest were like in the 3-star range, but I did get 1 5-star. And I only have like 1 owl left and 1 more book in addition to that I need to read for my wheel. So I'll save that for next week's vlog. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!